This is the very first Art and Natural Resources residency for JCPRD, and it's really an innovative new approach to pairing art with ecology. This is a way to embed an artist with this amazingly talented natural resources team and to help raise awareness and appreciation for how important it is to take care of our natural environments.
We looked at what the largest problems around the park district were in the environment, and bush honeysuckle was one of the largest focus that we were looking at, as many of our forests have been completely overwhelmed with bush honeysuckle, and the public outreach said they wanted us to manage it. Park district focused a lot of time and energy on removing the bush honeysuckle, so we thought that art was a neat way to tell the story. This is the first art residency we've done, and I believe it's the first one JCPRD has ever done as well.
The thing I'm really interested in at this point is relating to people how much time it takes. The endeavor to manage the bush honeysuckle in this area and other areas is really a long-term commitment.
What a lot of our public doesn't know is the amount of time it takes to preserve and care for these spaces. Part of the beauty of this program is to be able to use art to tell that story. Our staff has worked so hard over the last several years to really minimize the impact or remove bush honeysuckle. So this felt like a really good story to tell for the first year of this residency.
So my project is to respond to the Natural Resources team and the work that they're doing here. These series of tables are tiled with clay that came from the park, and the tiles have different plants impressed into them that are important to the park and tell a story. So the tables taken together read as a timeline, and over on this other side we start with lots of prairie plants which gradually change into more tree species, and then eventually when bush honeysuckle gets introduced to this area, and then from there explodes and becomes more and more of a problem.
It begins blooming later in the season, it starts growing earlier, it has a growth period much longer than native plants, and it has a massive seed production, and it has allelopathic tendencies where it can actually snuff out competition around it with chemicals in the soil, and so it basically outcompetes all the native forest plants.
The bush honeysuckle doesn't have a natural control in this ecosystem, so now we have to be that control on the bush honeysuckle because it's our responsibility because we brought it here. So I think that getting people to understand that it's a long-term commitment is really important.
Well, there's a lot of things when you're out mountain biking or hiking in a park. You may not see the hours of planning and the thousands of hours of volunteer labor and contract labor and staff time that have built the trails and removed the invasive species and kept them at bay and then put fire on the landscape, and the decades of work that's gone into clearing 400 plus acres of bush honeysuckle from Shawnee Mission Park. And so it's truly a team effort between multiple different groups that have created this recreational space that thousands and thousands of members of the public use in Johnson County.